Instructional observation. Instructional observation is one of the types of classroom observations which helps to ascertain improvement in teaching of a specific subject matter, usually performed by an experienced teacher, administrator and educational researcher. Improvement of teachers' classroom instruction based on feedbacks from observer. Instructional supervisory plan. Name of teacher. Grade/year. Subject. Date of pre-observation conference. Date of post-observation conference. Remarks. PHSS instructional observation. 1. Pre-observation conference. The purpose of this pre-observation conference is to review the teacher's plan, including the lesson objective, strategies, methodology and assessment. The following is a list of questions that the observer asks the teacher. Sample pre-observation information. CB passed is Form 1, 2. Formal observation. Greater than is announced and scheduled. In advance with the teacher. Greater than include both the teacher's strengths and weaknesses that were apparent during the lesson. Greater than offers suggestions for improvement that may conquer the described weaknesses while commending teacher strengths. Star observation technique. CB passed is Form 3A. Should focus on areas of strength and areas for growth. 3. Post-observation conference. Should focus on areas of strength and areas for growth. The evaluator should identify and discern short-term and or long-term next steps with teacher. Should be a face-to-face conversation. Schedule the conference within the week after the observation. Review the results of your observation. Begin the conference with positive comments. Provide honest, constructive feedback. Post-observation conference, learning how to give feedback 1. Post-observation conference, learning how to give feedback 1. Descriptive rather than judgmental 2. Focus on behavior rather than a person 3. Focus on helping rather than a hurting 4. Give amount of information that doesn't overload the teacher 5. Use easy to understand language 6. Close the session with a positive note 7. Opportunity to learn. For instructional observation. Instrument to be used. For instructional observation. Star observation. CB past observation checklist. Subject areas observation checklist. Star observation technique, a supervisory tool which is useful to collect information from the actual teaching learning activity in the classroom. A supervisory tool which is useful to collect information from the actual teaching learning activity in the classroom. Situation. S. Focus and observe close to the context and teaching. Episode 1. E-learning environment, motivation, presentation of the lesson, evaluation and others. Describe everything that happens in the whole session/period. Task T. Focus and observe closely the teacher's actions in the particular situation. Shows good command and knowledge of subject matter, demonstrates confidence and mastery of the lesson. Sense of humor, holds attention and respect of pupils, particularly classroom management. Creates a class environment which is comfortable for pupils and praises pupils' answers. Provides clear explanations and use simple language. Use non-verbal behavior such as gestures, walking around, eye contact to reinforce her lesson. Action A. Star observation. Focus and observe closely the learner's actions relative to the teacher's action. Pupils' behavior and responses. Result R. Focus and observe the end result or outcomes of the teacher's task and the learner's action described above in bot quantitative. I.E. 85% of the learners actively participated in the class. Pupils' performance at the end of the session/period. It could be oral or written result. Star observation. General comments for the teacher support. Additional comments other than what you've written in star. CB Past Teacher Performance Observation. A parts of CB Past Observation is Form 3A instructional competence. Shall be used for actual observation of the teaching learning process. 3 domains: diversity of learners, content and pedagogy, planning, assessing and reporting of outcomes, learning environment, school, home, and community linkages. Is Form 3B home, school, and community involvement, learning environment, school, home, and community linkages. Is Form C personal, social growth, and professional development, social regard for learning, personal, social growth and professional development. Greater than indicators which cannot be actually observed shall be verified in the teacher's portfolio evidences. Observation checklist for different subject areas. Classroom observation in _ classroom preparation / management structured, teaching learning process, pupils interaction, availability of instructional materials. Thank you. References: Handbook on Regional Unified Monitoring and Evaluation Tools, Training Manual for UNICEF DepEd Workshop for Effective Mentoring Towards a Teacher-Friendly School System, CB Past Manual and Internet Teaching Strategies. There are a variety of teaching strategies that teachers can use to improve student learning. The links below will show you some ways to make your classes more engaging. Active learning is anything that students do in a classroom other than merely passively listening to a teacher's lecture. Research shows that active learning improves students' understanding and retention of information and can be very effective in developing higher-order cognitive skills such as problem-solving and critical thinking. Teaching strategies: clicker use in class. Clickers enable instructors to rapidly collect and summarize student responses to multiple-choice questions they ask of students in class. Collaborative / cooperative learning. Cooperative and collaborative learning are instructional approaches in which students work together in small groups to accomplish a common learning goal. They need to be carefully planned and executed, but they don't require permanently formed groups. Critical thinking. Critical thinking is a collection of mental activities that include the ability to intuit, clarify, reflect, connect, infer, and judge. It brings these activities together and enables the student to question what knowledge exists. Teaching strategies. Discussion strategies. Engaging students in discussion deepens their learning and motivation by propelling them to develop their own views and hear their own voices. A good environment for interaction is the first step in encouraging students to talk. Experiential learning. Experiential learning is an approach to education that focuses on learning by doing, on the participant's subjective experience. The role of the educator is to design direct experiences that include preparatory and reflective exercises. Games / experiments / simulations. Games, experiments and simulations can be rich learning environments for students. Students today have grown up playing games and using interactive tools such as the internet, phones, and other appliances. Games and simulations enable students to solve real-world problems in a safe environment and enjoy themselves while doing so. Teaching strategies. Humor in the classroom. Using humor in the classroom can enhance student learning by improving understanding and retention. Inquiry-guided learning. With the inquiry method of instruction, students arrive at an understanding of concepts by themselves and the responsibility for learning rests with them. This method encourages students to build research skills that can be used throughout their educational experiences. Interdisciplinary teaching. Interdisciplinary teaching involves combining 2 different topics into one class. Instructors who participate in interdisciplinary teaching find that students approach the material differently, while faculty members also have a better appreciation of their own discipline content. Teaching strategies. Learner-centered teaching. Learner-centered teaching means the student is at the center of learning. The student assumes the responsibility for learning while the instructor is responsible for facilitating the learning. Thus, the power in the classroom shifts to the student. Learning communities. Communities bring people together for shared learning, discovery, and the generation of knowledge. Within a learning community, all participants take responsibility for achieving the learning goals. Most important, learning communities are the process by which individuals come together to achieve learning goals. Lecture strategies. Lectures are the way most instructors today learned in classes. However, with today's students, lecturing does not hold their attention for very long, even though they are a means of conveying information to students. Teaching strategies. Mobile learning. Mobile learning is any type of learning that happens when the learner is not at a fixed location. Online/hybrid courses. Online and hybrid courses require careful planning and organization. However, once the course is implemented, there are important considerations that are different from traditional courses. Communication with students becomes extremely important. Problem-based learning. Problem-based learning, PBL, is an instructional method that challenges students to learn, working in groups to seek solutions to real-world problems. The process replicates the commonly used systemic approach to resolving problems or meeting challenges that are encountered in life, and will help prepare students for their careers. Service learning. Service learning is a type of teaching that combines academic content with civic responsibility and some community project. The learning is structured and supervised and enables the student to reflect on what has taken place,